How's it going, guys? It's Marcus. Today I'm going to be talking about Permeation, the quirk owned by Togata Mirio, or should I say, spoiler warning, previously owned. Hashtag give Mirio's quirk back at some point, please, Horikoshi. Sorry, I had to. It had to be done. It was required. So there's going to be some manga spoilers in this video, by the way, for you anime only, so do be careful, proceed with caution from here on out. Now, Permeation is a very unique quirk because when it was first introduced, at least first introduced in a combat scenario, it looked incredibly OP on a surface level. However, Mirio himself did a great job explaining how much micromanagement is required to make proper use of his quirk and get himself from the bottom of his class to the top of the entire UA school. His given name is actually tied to his quirk too. Horikoshi leaves hints at what a character's quirk is and the ways he writes characters' names. He does this for like pretty much all of his characters. I think the only character he didn't initially do this for was Toga Himiko, so she could have her big quirk reveal at the end of the provisional license arc. But I could be wrong there. Mirio contains the kanji for the word through and the word form, which subtly hints at his ability to pass through things. As for the word form, I'm guessing it's because he lacks a solid form / doesn't have any form when he's intangible, and that's why they use the word form and obviously through to pass through things. Mirio's quirk is not only incredibly strong defensively, as he can just phase through any attack he wants to, but on the offensive, he's able to go for sneak attacks on people by phasing through the ground and then appearing behind them again. The way this works is Mirio will activate his quirk throughout his entire body and slip into the ground completely, then make his whole body solid again while inside the ground. Since the mass of himself and the ground can't overlap each other, he actually gets automatically propelled from the ground back to the surface, but judging by how he's positioned or what kind of pose he's doing when he reactivates his quirk, that's how he can control where in the ground he's going to be repelled out of. However, when he's in that free-falling state inside the ground where his quirk is activated throughout his entire body, he can't feel anything other than the sensation of falling. His hearing doesn't work, his eyes don't work, not even his lungs work. Wait, wouldn't that mean his brain can't work either? How could he reactivate his quirk if that's the case? Ooh, that might be a plot hole. But, I don't know, maybe his brain does work and it's only like certain parts of his body he can't like properly use. But I mean, doesn't your brain technically need oxygen? And if he can't intake oxygen? I don't know, maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself here. But just imagine how much control he has over this quirk now to be able to successfully sneak attack this many students while not being able to breathe, see, or hear. I just can't help but give props to Mirio here. He was able to, successfully land these sneak attacks on every single student in UA except Deku. Deku was the only one who was able to predict it, but he still got punished. Like, Mirio was still able to beat Deku with his super move, Blinder Touch Eyeball Crush. And that move is where he acts like he's going to poke his target in the eye, but instead has his finger phase through them, leaving them distracted to where he can just punch them in the gut. As for defensive, Mirio has to be incredibly precise to make proper use of his permeation to phase through attacks. He has to be constantly activating and deactivating his quirk throughout various parts of his body and use predicting enemies' moves to his advantage as much as possible. I think one of my favorite uses of this precision with his quirk was when he first started to attack Chrono and Chisaki to save Eri. Although Chisaki dodged Mirio's punch, Mirio threw a kick at Chrono, who was holding Eri at the time, and Mirio was able to have part of his foot phase through Eri to save her from harm while also having the tip of his foot solid so he could hit Chrono in the face. The use of his super move Phantom Menace was just as good too, now that I think about it. He was over here going in and out of walls constantly at super fast speed, hitting the two expendable bullets with such incredible calculation and precision that they just basically got one shot. All while staying completely clothed, might I add. The only time Mirio is able to keep clothes on while using his quirk is when he has his costume on. Mirio's hero costume was made from a certain material that is produced from his hair, so since his DNA is incorporated into the costume, it's able to pass through things just like he can. Mirio's ability to phase through things can be compared to Kamui, which is the Mangekyo Sharingan power of Obito Uchiha, at least the right eye Kamui. Both abilities let their users pass through things. The only difference is even though Obito does technically become permeable, he is sending parts of his body into the Kamui dimension in order to do so. Mirio's body parts are still there, whereas Obito's aren't, but you just can't see that they're completely gone because Obito's clothes still stay on while he's using Kamui. All in all, the Permeation ability is a pretty simple ability on the surface level and can also seem super OP on a surface level, but requires incredible amounts of non-stop micromanagement to be useful in combat. Mirio is constantly thinking about not only how to lay effective hits on his opponents, but also thinking and predicting where in his body he needs to be activating his quirk to give himself the upper hand. He worked so hard on his own and with Sir to get to this point. Even his own father said it'd be incredibly hard to be a proper hero with the kind of quirk he has, but Mirio just didn't give up. He kept pushing, he kept working hard, bringing the Permeation quirk to its maximum potential. But I think that is going to be it for this video, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like down below if you enjoyed, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, take care, bye-bye.